So welcome to your Tuesday morning yoga practice. It's really good to see everybody in this way. There's a Hawaiian word, ho'okahe. Ho'okahe is kind of fun to say. Ho'okahe, that means in English something like to be like a wave or to go with the flow. As we flow from one pose to the next, you are riding a wave from one pose to the next, using your breath to connect you. I will do it in the way that's right for me. That's really having deep courage, sometimes backing off. Having grace in our poses is allowing ourselves the opportunity to be present in the moment with what we have. So courage and grace are what we're going to do today as we ride the waves of our practice. So come into a seat. If a seat's just not working for you today, lie down on your mat. If you're seated, make sure your spine is tall and roll your shoulders back a little bit and then close your eyes. Join your hands together in front of your heart. Ho'okahe, to be like a wave or to go with the flow. Make a commitment to channel that feeling of going with the flow, of riding the wave we're all on together with courage and with grace. Seal that commitment in your heart and let that commitment spread out into each part of your body, each part of your being as you flow today from pose to pose, as you unite body, mind, heart in the practice of yoga. Release your hands down and then gently open your eyes. All right, if you're following along with the playlist, you'll want to press play now. And then we'll come into Crocodile Pose. So this is on your belly with your legs a little wide. You'll place one palm down on the mat and place the other palm on top of the first palm. Elbows flare out to the sides. And then place your forehead down onto the top hand. So we get the whole belly down onto the earth, settling in here. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, release it through your mouth. And now try to breathe in and out of your nose, feeling the wave of your breath across your front body. As your front body presses into the earth, feel the wave of the breath through the belly, through the chest. And then gently rock your hips side to side, just inviting a little movement here. And then bring the hips back into stillness. Stretch your legs back so that they extend straight back from your hips. So instead of having the legs wide, bring them a little narrow, and then bring your hands under your shoulders. Once you've done that, lower your forehead back down to the mat. We're going to peel up into Cobra in a wave. As you inhale, lift your forehead up, lift up through the back of your head. Press into the floor a little bit, peel your chest up. And then on your exhale, wave back down to the mat, forehead touching. Inhale, lifts you back up. And you're going to keep flowing here, inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower. Just inviting this wave sensation in. Using the breath. One more time, inhale, lift up, and then exhale, lower down. Take your hands wider than your mat is and dome your palms off the mat so you're on your fingertips. Point your elbows up to the ceiling. Lift your head up, lift into a tiny bit of a cobra, and then begin to roll your shoulders alternately. So one rolls forward, up and back, and then the other gets started. And you roll across your upper back here, move your neck and your head. Riding that wave movement, opening up across your shoulders and your upper back. One more rotation through each shoulder. And then when you've done that, lift into a bigger cobra. Lift up, a little bit of courage here in this back bend as you stretch up. And then as you exhale, ripple all the way back down. Lift up to hands and knees. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. When you're ready to exhale, take cat pose, lifting up through the spine. And then when you're ready to inhale, cow pose, lowering the spine down, looking forward. Keep going. Exhale to cat. And inhale to cow. A couple more, just like this. Keep your mind on sensation you feel in your body. And with the next few, make these your own. So circle around through your torso. Maybe make figure eights, whatever feels good for you here. Invite a circular pattern into a cat and cow. Loosening up the spine, front, sides, and back. And then come into a neutral spine. So we're going to take a child's pose here, but we're going to keep our knees where they are. We're not going to widen the knees out as we usually do in child's pose. So keep the knees where they are, stretch the hips back, and stretch your hands out in front. Lower your forehead to the mat or close to the mat. Inhale here. As you exhale, ripple up through your back as if you're coming into cat pose. Lift your shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, cow pose right here, all fours. Exhale, pull back through your hips for child's pose. We take an inhale here, and then we start all over. Exhale, round through the back, rippling up into cat. Inhale, ripple down, cow. Exhale, back to child's pose. One inhale here. Exhale, come up to cat. Exhale, inhale, lower down cow. Exhale, pull back through your hips, child's pose. Inhale here, one more round. Exhale, pulls you up. Inhale, takes you into cow. Exhale, back to child's pose. And we'll stay here for 2 rounds of breath. And then make your way to downward facing dog. Hands at the front of your mat, feet at the back. Stretching out. Courage and grace is what we are practicing today. While you're in your downward dog, take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it go through your mouth. Do that again on your own. Really big breath in and then full breath out. Opening up the lungs, letting the breath wave in and then wash back out. From your downward dog, start walking your feet to the top of your mat until you stand in forward bend at the front of your mat, folding over your legs. Move your head around a little bit here. Let the tension go from the back of your neck, maybe the tops of your shoulders. And then take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Put as much of a bend in your knees as you need, courage to do what's right for you. And then take your hands away from your back, folding over your legs. Keep the hands interlaced. Bring them to your low back. As you inhale, lift up to standing. Keep the hands interlaced. As you exhale, take a little back bend here. And then inhale, straight back upright. Exhale takes you back down to forward bend. Hands stay interlaced the whole time. Bring your hands away from your back. Inhale, hands to the low back. Lift up, stand up tall. Exhale, a back bend here. Inhale, back up. One more time here. Exhale, forward bend. Bring the hands away from your back. Inhale, hands to your low back. Inhale, stand upright. Take your back bend on your exhale, the one that's just right for you. And then inhale, back up. Exhale, release the hands and bring them together at your heart. Riding the wave of our practice, pose, counter pose, pose, counter pose, using the breath, riding that wave with courage and with grace. On your inhale, take your arms up high, stand up tall. On your exhale, forward bend, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward, just stretch out halfway. Fold back in on your exhale. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen out halfway, put the belly up. Exhale, fold back in. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, this time downward dog. Hands at the front, feet at the back. Use your inhale to get into plank pose, riding that wave, finding the pose. Use your exhale to lower to chaturanga. And then inhale, take a cobra. You may be ready for upward dog. You decide your back bend here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring your feet to the top of your mat. You can jump up. You can walk the feet up or take a couple of big steps. Fold over the legs and then inhale, rise up. Touch your palms overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Each time we come here, remember, riding the wave with courage and grace. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, float down. Inhale, lengthen out. Take your vinyasa in the way that feels best for you. Step back to downward dog or jump into chaturanga. Breath connects you, and remember, you're trying to not force yourself, but be graceful here as you move from pose to pose. From downward dog, inhale, lift your right leg back and up behind you, stretching the leg up high. Exhale, lunge your foot to the front of your mat. We're going to come to side angle pose. So we'll take the variation where your right forearm is on the right thigh and the left bicep is near the left ear. So find that side angle pose, and now we'll flow with it. Inhale, lift up to warrior 2. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, back up to warrior 2. Exhale, side angle pose. Maybe you don't put your hand on your thigh. Inhale, back up. Exhale, reverse. Any arm movements work here. Inhale up. Exhale, side angle pose. Inhale up. Exhale, reverse warrior. You'll inhale up here and then exhale. Windmill your hands down to the mat. Lift your back heel up. Put a little weight into your left hand. 3 arm circles backwards with the right arm. Inhale, right arm back and up. Exhale, let that wave crash forward and down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last time, inhale, roll your shoulder open. Exhale, hand down to the mat. Inhale, right leg back and up behind you. On your exhale, knee to nose. Pull in. Inhale, back up. 2 more of these. Exhale, pulls in. Courage here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, last time, pull in. Inhale, stretch your leg back and up. You have an option for a 1 leg flow here, or put both feet on the ground. And flow with both feet down, your choice. We'll gather together in downward dog. Take a couple of breaths here. And then we'll start the second side. Inhale, left leg back and up behind you. Exhale, lunge your foot to the top of your mat. Come up to side angle pose. Forearm on the thigh, right arm alongside the ear. And now we flow with this. Inhale, lift up warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, back to side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Let your breath guide you. Take your arms where it feels right for you. Inhale up. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale to warrior two. This time, windmill the hands down to the mat. Lift the back heel up. And 3 arm circles with the left arm. Inhale, take it back and up. Roll open. Exhale, ride the breath as it comes down. 2 more circles around. When that hand lands the third time, inhale, lift your left leg back and up behind you. So lift it up high. And 3 times, exhale, knee to nose. Come into plank pose, pull the knee in. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Close the gap. Inhale, reach it back and up. 1 more time. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, stretch it back, lift it up. 1 leg vinyasa, if that's how you ended the first side, or put your foot down. Maybe having the most courage here means that you land in a child's pose and allow your breath to return to a steady state. A couple of breaths here. And then bring your feet up to the top of your mat. Fold over your legs. Inhale, rise up. Take both arms high up overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Utkatasana, chair pose. Lower through the hips and think about lifting up through the spine as you take the arms up. This pose is also called fierce pose. Maybe you can summon your courage in this fierce pose to take the hips lower, to lift the heart up more. 2 more rounds of breath here. And then on your next exhale, hands to the mat, straighten the legs, fold into the legs. Inhale, lengthen out halfway. Take your vinyasa, hands at the front of your mat, feet at the back, flowing through. Exhale, return to downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your right leg back and up behind you. On your exhale, use your core to plant your foot at the front of your mat. Virabhadrasana 1, spin the back heel down. And inhale, come up to warrior 1. Find the courage to be in your pose in a way that feels good in your body. It's a lunge with the front leg. It's a back bend through that upper back. Maybe even take your head back a little bit. Yeah, you're looking good. On an exhale, circle your arms out wide. Interlace your hands behind your back. Make a tight seal there. Exhale, humble warrior. Fold in inside the front leg. Maybe you dip that right shoulder inside the right leg. Maybe the right side ribs graze the inside of the right thigh. Let your head go here. Fold in. On your inhale,
lower your hands down to your mat. Lift your back heel up. One leg dog. Take your right leg back and up behind you again. On your exhale, knee to nose. Keep the knee pulled in. Lower the back heel to the mat. Stretch your right foot over to the left. Lift the left arm up. You may have your right foot on the ground or lifted. Courage here, grace here. Lower your left hand back down. One leg dog. Take the right leg back and up. Exhale, lunge it up to the front of your mat. You're gonna lower your back knee to the ground. So pat it if you like. We're gonna be on it a little bit. Take your right arm on the inside of the right leg. You're gonna have the left palm on the ground and put some weight into it. As you get low, bend that left elbow, point it straight back to stretch your right arm out in front of you. As you inhale, lift that right arm up, sweep it across the sky and back. You might even bend your back foot and touch it. Inhale, back up. Exhale, get low here, back to the front. Inhale, lift up, reach back, maybe touch your foot, maybe not. Exhale, one more time, get low here. Inhale, arc the arm across the ceiling, reach back. And then bring your hand down to the outside of the right foot. Lift the back knee up. Sweep the arms forward and up. High crescent pose. Lift up, open up here. Big heart, big opening. And then exhale, let it all go. Hands down to the mat. Take the right leg back and up. One leg vinyasa. Good, bring your feet to the top of your mat. Fold over those legs, and then chair pose. Take the hips down, lift your heart up. Staying here for a couple of breaths, building that courage, riding the wave of your breath, and then on the next exhale, straighten the legs, take a back bend here. Support your low back with your hands if you need that. Support your neck with your hands behind your head if you need that. And then inhale, back upright. Exhale, hands to your heart. Second side, chair pose. Lower down. We're just going to stay here a couple of breaths. On your next exhale, hands to the mat, straighten the legs, fold over them. Inhale, lengthen out. Meet me in downward dog. Vinyasa will let you ride pose and counter pose there, or you can step back to downward dog and breathe. Inhale, left leg back and up behind you. Exhale, lunge it to the top of your mat. For warrior one, back heel roots down, sweep the arms forward and up. Dig in a little bit deeper here, maybe taking the hips a little bit lower, maybe opening into the back bend a little bit more, and then circle the arms out, interlace them behind your back. Take deep breath in, and then exhale, humble warrior, inside your front leg. Fold down into it. We're all riding this wave together, each of us in our way, with deep courage, with beautiful grace. You're going to stay bowed down here, but release your hands down to the mat. Lift your back heel up. One leg dog, take your left leg back and up behind you, lift it up high. On your exhale, knee to nose, pull it in, keep it in, lower your back heel down, shoot your left foot to the right, lift your right arm up, and then right hand back down. One leg dog, take that leg back and up, lift it up. As you exhale, bring it back forward into the lunge, lower your foot down, lower your right knee down. Take your left arm to the inside of the left leg. Plant your right palm. As you bend your right elbow, reach that left arm forward, stretching out. Inhale, arc the hand across the sky, reach back, maybe touch your back foot. Inhale, back across the sky. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up and half circle. Inhale, back up. Exhale, last time to lower down here. Inhale, lift back up, circle the arm back. And then bring your hand back down on the outside of your front leg. Tuck the toes under on the back foot. Lift the back knee up, high crescent pose. Sweep the arms up, find your balance. Open up here. Make it big, make it beautiful, make it you. And then exhale, hands to the mat. One leg flow, left leg lifts as you flow through.
I cannot hear you breathe, but I can see you moving with intention, moving with grace. Beautiful. Bring your feet up to the top of your mat.
Fold over your legs. Utkatasana, chair pose. It really is the last one. Hips down, heart high. Have the courage to go there in this posture and then stand up tall. Push into the feet. Standing back bend. Inhale, back upright. Exhale, hands to your heart. We'll ride this next wave together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, float down. Inhale, lengthen out halfway. Make your way through vinyasa to downward dog. Inhale, right leg back and up behind you. Bend your knee and twist open. And let's find balance here. Start to get lighter in the right hand. Maybe you have just a fingertip or two on the ground. Maybe that whole right hand lifts up. And then lower the right hand back down. Stretch the right leg back and up behind you. On an exhale, lunge your foot up to the front of your mat. Come up to warrior two. This is a pose for courage gathering right here. You're steady, you're on your surfboard, riding this wave. We're going to go from this steadiness to a balanced pose, half moon pose. So let's try to make it really smooth. One trick to help you do that is to bring the back foot in a couple of inches and shorten the distance between your feet. So you'll take a breath in here. As you exhale, lean forward over the front leg, get your right fingers on the ground, and then lift that left leg up. Finding that warrior two, landing, being steady there, breathing in your warrior two. From here, in your half moon pose, from here, gently step back to warrior two. So as slow and graceful as you can, lowering the back foot down, back up to warrior two. And now reverse warrior, lean back, let the front side body stretch back out. Inhale, back to warrior two. Straighten your front leg for triangle pose. Deep breath in to lift up the side bodies, and then exhale, reach forward, right fingers touch down, top arm stretches up to the sky. Take your gaze up past your top hand, roll open through the chest. And then on your exhale, bend into your front knee, lower your hands down over the front leg, lift the back heel up, high crescent pose. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. Find a deeper back bend here. Have the courage from the legs to open up with grace across the heart. And then exhale, hands back down. Walk the hands over to the left so you'll come into a wide leg stance here. We'll take 8 side lunges here, bending first into the right knee. So take a breath in, exhale, bend into your right knee. Inhale, straightens the legs. Exhale, bend into your left knee. And flow back and forth, counting for yourself. 8 total side lunges. High or low, hands on the ground, supporting you or not. When you finish the 8, there's no rush here. Take your time. When you finish, you'll come back to the middle, wide leg, standing forward bend. Take a couple of breaths here in stillness. And then bring your hands to your hips. As you inhale, rise up and take a back bend here. If you want support for your low back, place your hands in your back pockets. Draw your shoulders back bend here. Make an offering from your heart to the sky. Inhale, lift back up. Triangle pose again. Turn the front toes forward. Open the arms out front and back. And as you exhale, right fingertips back down to the ground. This time, let's bring the left bicep near the ear and pull the left side body back. Stretching out long here. And then exhale, both hands to the mat, bend into the front knee, lift the back heel up, one leg dog, right leg backing up, bend your knee, twist open, and if it feels right for you, tip over, lowering your foot down, lifting your hips up. Wild thing. Inhale, come back around, one leg dog, one leg flow, ends this side. We flow together. Whether we're moving pose to counter pose, or whether we're holding a downward dog or child's pose. Bring your feet to the top of your mat. Fold into your legs. And then inhale, rise, stand up tall, touch your palms overhead. Exhale, hands come home to your heart. And then we flow for the second side. Inhale up, exhale takes you down. Ride that wave. Inhale up, exhale, downward dog, or the beginning of your flow, which might not start with downward dog. All right, now that we're in downward dog together, inhale, left leg back and up behind you. Bend your knee, twist open here, lengthen out. Find a gazing point for your eyes, and then start to get lighter into your left hand. Maybe a fingertip or two remains, maybe the whole hand lifts up. And then lower your hand back down, stretch the left leg back behind you. Exhale, lunge it up to the top of your mat. Come up to warrior two, back heel down on the ground. Rise up to warrior two. Find a steadiness here and ease of being a balance. We're gonna take that balance with us into half moon pose. So take a breath in. As you exhale, lean forward. Left fingers on the ground, right leg takes flight, right arm reaches up for the sky. Holding steady here, maybe taking your gaze up past your top hand. And then slowly step back into your warrior two. See if you can really find that balance on the way back down to warrior two. And then reverse warrior, open up the left side, inhale back up to warrior two, Exhale, straightens the front leg, and we go to triangle pose. Inhale, lengthens up, and then exhale, reaches out. On this version, we'll have the top arm straight up overhead, gaze past the top hand. As you exhale, circle that right arm forward and down to the mat as you bend into your front knee. Lift the back heel up. Inhale, high crescent pose. Rise up. Find the courage to open up here. Ride the wave of your breath as you come into a back bend. And then inhale back up. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Walk your hands around to the right until you come into a wide leg standing forward bend. We'll do something different on this side. Walk both hands farther forward out in front of you. Yep. And then take your right hand to grab onto the left ankle. If your ankle's not close enough for you to grab, work your feet closer together. Right hand to the left ankle. Keep that left arm stretched out in front of you. And as you exhale, take a side bend into the right knee. So work that right knee out to the right. And then final piece is to twist. So you pull up your left armpit, look under your left arm. Use a little bit of strength with that right arm to pull you into the twist. Oh yes, you got it. And then inhale, release, back around to the front. You're gonna walk those hands a little farther out in front of you, and we'll take the second side. So this time, left hand grabs right ankle. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, side lunge into the left knee. Final piece is to lift up the right armpit, the right arm, look under the arm. As you bend, maybe a little bit more into that left knee, twisting around. It should feel good. I hope it feels good. If not, bring your feet a little closer together so it will feel good. And then inhale, release. Just back down to your forward bend, folding over your legs here. One more exhale here. And then on your inhale, hands to your hips, rise up to standing, triangle pose. Turn your left toes to the left, open your arms out front and back, and then exhale, lean out and down, fingertips touch down. This time you bring the top arm right over the ear, stretching out. Really finding that length. Good. Circle that top hand down to the mat, bend into the front knee, lift the back heel up, one leg dog, lift the front leg back and up behind you, bend your knee, twist open. If it feels right on this side, flip over. Make that three-pointed back bend. Yes, these were beautiful. Lift the heart up. Yeah, everybody's looking fantastic. And then inhale, come back around to one leg dog, one leg flow. When you finish your flow, child's pose, if you're not taking a flow, child's pose happens for you right now. Take these few breaths here to let your body settle, to let your breath get into a smooth rhythm. All right, back up to downward facing dog. Bring your feet to the front of your mat. Fold into your legs. And then inhale, stand up tall. Exhale, hands to your heart. So we're going to come down to half boat pose. If your knees will allow it, if your ankles will allow, then we'll lower down and get the hips on the ground. If that's not working for you, you come down to this half boat however you can get here. So initially I was going to have you hold this half boat while I explain, but just lower your feet down to the ground and maybe turn around so you can see me. We're going to take, we're going to go from a high boat to a low boat 20 times altogether, but we're going to do 10 and then take a break. So I want to show you some variations. I know that this can really hurt the low back for some people. If that's you, you're going to have your elbows on the ground and your hands just right underneath your outer hips. And from here, you can come into half boat, lower to the low boat and back up. Or if that's not working, you can do one leg and then the other. Second position is to come into this half boat, lower to the low boat and back up. You can always grab on here whenever you need. Third position is straight legs, lowering and lifting. Fourth position is arms up by your ears, lowering and lifting. So think about what might work for you as we go through these 10 together. So find your position. I'm going to be in the half boat here. Take a breath in here, exhale, lower, inhale, lift. 9 more, exhale, lowers you, inhale, lifts you. Keep going with your breath. Have the courage to stay with it. I'm counting, even if you're not. We've got 4 more by my count. And now 3, and 2. And last time to go low, lift back up, cross one shin in front of the other, sit up tall, and then as you exhale, fold forward, walk the hands out in front, lower your forehead towards the mat. It might even touch the mat. As you stretch out the back body here, stretch out the outer hips here. Okay, inhale, sit back up. Just look at your legs and try to remember which shin is in front, because when we do this the second time, we'll put the other shin in front. So come back up to your starting boat position, your high boat, and 10 times we'll lower down. Take a breath in as you exhale, lower, inhale, lift. Keep going. I'll keep the count for you. Riding the wave here in your boat. We're halfway there. Stick with it. Just 2 more. Last time low, lift up high, cross your legs, other shin in front, sit up tall, lift up, and then exhale, bow forward. Inch those fingers out in front of you. Lower your head down, touching the mat maybe, or getting closer to the mat. All right, inhale, sit back up. We're ready now for a crow pose. So this will be our one arm balance for the practice. If you don't normally take crow pose, work with me through the steps to getting there. Think about giving yourself a little bit of grace and opening up that wellspring of courage within you. So we'll start from a standing forward bend for the crow pose. If you know crow pose, don't wait for me. Go ahead and go into any variations of crow or crane that you like. If this is new for you, if you're working on it, we'll come into the standing forward bend. Bend your knees as much as you need to so you can get your palms flat on the mat, shoulder width distance apart. Lift the heels up and widen the knees out. You want to squeeze the inner knee onto the outer upper arm. So that's a deep squeeze in. And now find that core strength we just tapped into with those boat poses. Lift up through the hips, pull the belly up, take your gaze forward. This is where you need the courage to squeeze the knees in, bend the elbows. Maybe you pick up one foot and put it back down. Maybe you pick up the other foot and put it back down. Maybe both feet lift off the mat as you squeeze in. You got it. And then lower the feet back down. And we're going to go back to child's pose from here. Toes together. This time, take the knees wide. Shift the hips back. Let your forehead rest on the mat. And take a moment here to honor yourself for what happened in that inversion, whether it went the way you wanted it to or not. Give yourself grace. Practicing having courage and grace on your mat for yourself in your postures makes it much easier to practice that off of your mat for yourself and for those who are riding this crazy wave we're on right now. All right, walk yourself up to hands and knees. We're going to take a couple of minutes to go upside down here. So there are lots of variations of inverting or being upside down. If you know what you want, go ahead and go for it. Anything from legs up the wall, if a wall is nearby, or you can simulate legs up a wall or supported shoulder stand by putting a block under your hips, rolling your shoulders under, and taking your legs up into the air. Maybe you come into headstand or handstand. Wall is helpful if you have one nearby. Shoulder stand, full shoulder stand works. Just a couple of minutes, just some breaths, finding that courage to turn things upside down, to get the feet that are used to being our grounding points off the ground, and letting your hands, your upper back, your forearms, top of your head maybe be your grounding point here. Good. So I see so often that we go into the inversion with a lot of grace, a lot of thoughtfulness. Let's see if we can come out with that same level of grace, of conscientiousness. So wherever you are, start to slowly bring those legs down. Yes, you're looking great. And then we will land on our backs, knees bent, soles of the feet on the mat. If you're still inverting, you're loving it, good for you. The rest of us are coming down to our backs. Cross the right ankle above your left knee, and then pull your left thigh in, interlace your hands behind the left thigh. This is reclining pigeon pose or figure four. And then use a little bit of arm strength. Pull that left thigh up towards your chest. Let your head and shoulders rest on the mat as much as possible here.
One more breath to pull the legs in a little more. And then as you exhale, release the left foot to the mat and then the right. And we'll change sides. Cross the left ankle above the right knee. Pull the right thigh in. Take your hands on either side of the right thigh. Interlace your hands back there and then pull the leg in. It takes some energy to stay in this pose to open up the hip, but see where you can release energy. See where you can maybe let the head and neck, maybe let the shoulders go. Maybe soften into your lifted foot. And then exhale, release. One foot down, then the other. We'll take one back bend here. So yogi's choice. Bridge pose is great. If you have a block nearby or something that works as a block, a giant book or two, you can put that block underneath your hips, maybe for a supported back bend or supported bridge pose. Maybe full wheel is your pose. Any back bend works. It can be fish pose. A couple of breaths in your back bend of choice. And then as you are ready, let that one go to lower down onto your back. Stretch your legs out on your mat. If you need some finishing poses, maybe a twist to each side, take those, and then we'll begin working our way into Shavasana. As you get ready to move into Shavasana, if you're following along with the playlist, we should be at the last song on the playlist. If not, you can fast forward there or perhaps rewind. And then begin to stretch yourself out. It's always worth taking a few breaths to find a corpse pose that is workable for you. And workable here means you can sustain it. Workable here means it is deeply relaxing for you. We will surf the breath together here with me. Big inhale through your nose, release through your mouth. Two more, breathing together. Big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Last one, really fill up with the breath. And then exhale, let that breath out. Let it just flow out of you. Let it go. And then let just natural breath flow in and easily flow out. Relax your brow, eyes, jaw. Soften through your back body. Soften across your front body. Allow your legs and your arms to go. And imagine you're just floating here. You have navigated this wave. And now you just float. All the effort goes. Begin to deepen your breath and ride that wave of your breath. Ho'okahe. Be like a wave. Go with the flow. Start to stretch. Take your arms overhead. Reach your legs long. Any stretch works just to open you back up after your rest. And then on an exhale, roll to your side and then come up to a seat and bring your hands to your heart. We ride this wave together as a community. Our duty is to ride the wave with courage and with grace. I hope as you go through your day, you're able to call on the courage and the grace of your practice to help you ride whatever waves come up for you today. Let's take one moment to send from our hearts gratitude for all the essential workers who are taking care of people, who are keeping us supplied with what we need to be healthy, to be strong. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming to this communal gathering place that we have.